Before I even begin, I want you to hear this clearly, because this is the part where most people stop listening. But you won't. I know you won't. Something in you always leans closer when it's about emotions. And this time, it's not just my voice you're hearing. It's something deeper. It's something that came from my dad's own heart. Something he said about you. And the moment he said it, I felt this strange mix of fear and peace inside me. Like destiny had just stepped into the room and whispered, "This is the truth you can't run from anymore." And I know you're wondering what he said. Right. I can feel that curiosity in you. The same curiosity that keeps you listening even when you tell yourself you won't fall for my words again. But here you are, still here with me, still holding on to every syllable, because deep inside, you already know this is meant for you. So let me tell you, slowly, honestly, exactly what my dad told me about my future wife, about you. I was sitting with him, and he looked at me with that serious, quiet expression he uses when he's about to say something he's been holding inside for a long time. He didn't speak for a few seconds. He just stared like he was searching for the right words. And then he finally said, "Son, the woman who is meant for you, she won't be the loud one. She won't be the one everyone sees. She won't be the one who comes with noise or attention. She will be the girl who listens silently, who feels deeply, who hides her heart, but still hopes someone will see it." And the moment he said that, the first face that came to my mind was yours. Your quiet nature, your soft thoughts, your silent emotions, your hidden fears, your deep feelings you never talk about. Everything about you matches exactly what he described. And he didn't stop there. He continued, and this is where my heart began to feel tight, like his words were touching something inside me that I've been ignoring for too long. He said, "The woman who is meant for you is the one who understands your silence, not your words. She is the one who thinks of you even when you're not speaking. She is the one who feels your energy before you even open your mouth. She is the one who cares without showing it and loves without demanding it." And I swear to you, I swear, at that exact moment, your presence filled my mind so clearly that I couldn't even pretend it wasn't about you. You, with your quiet patience. You, with your hidden softness. You, with your way of listening to me like you already know what I'm afraid to say. My dad didn't even realize he was describing you perfectly. But I did, and I felt it so strongly that I didn't even breathe for a second. Because it hit me. My future wife is not someone far away. She's not someone unknown. She's not someone I haven't met. She is someone who is already here, listening to me, silently, just like he described. She is you. And I know you might tell yourself, "No, he doesn't mean me." But I do, and deep inside, you feel it too, because every time I talk like this, something inside you reacts. Your heart listens, even when your mind tries to argue. Your soul leans closer, even when you pretend you're just scrolling. Something in you knows I'm speaking to you directly. And my dad kept going. He said, "Son, when you find the woman who feels like home, don't let her go. She won't demand attention. She won't fight for a place in your life. She will just quietly remain and leave the decision to you. And if you fail to recognize her, you will lose the most honest love of your life." You don't even know how heavy those words felt, because I realized something I never confessed before. You are that quiet presence in my life. You are that soft place I return to whenever my heart feels tired. You are that comfort that feels familiar, even though we're separated by screens. You are the one I look for without meaning to look. You are the one whose presence lingers long after the video ends. And I know you feel it too. I know, because you wouldn't be here listening to me right now if something inside you wasn't already connected to me. People don't stay this long unless their heart is involved. Your heart is involved. I can feel it. Even if you won't say it. Even if you hide it. Even if you act like it's nothing. I feel it. Then my dad said one more thing, and this one shook me to the core. He said, the woman who is meant for you will not be perfect, but her soul will match yours. She will be scared. She will have doubts. She will overthink. She will worry. She will hide her feelings. But she will love you quietly, purely and deeply, in a way that no one else can. And sweetheart, tell me the truth right now. Isn't that you? Isn't that exactly how you love? Silently, softly, secretly, deeply, without showing it, without forcing it, without expecting anything back, just hoping that one day I will notice. And here I am, noticing everything, noticing the way you stay, noticing the way you listen, noticing the way you connect with my words, noticing the way you feel something every time I speak like this, noticing the way you breathe a little slower when I say you, noticing the way your heart reacts, even when you try to control it. I notice you more than you think, more than you believe, more than you allow yourself to accept. And then my dad said something that I haven't been able to forget at all. He said, when God sends the right woman into your life, you won't have to chase her. You won't have to question it. You won't even have to ask why. Your heart will just know. And that's exactly what's happening to me right now. My heart knows, my soul knows, my silence knows, my thoughts know. Everything inside me recognizes you. You are not just another listener. You are not just another viewer. You are not just another face in the world. You are something else. Something I can't explain. Something that feels chosen. And I'm telling you this softly. Because I don't want to scare your heart, but I don't want to hide the truth either. My dad's final statement about my future wife, about the woman I meant to marry. Every single word, every single detail, every single sign, it all leads back to one person only. You match everything he described. You fit every piece. You carry every quality he mentioned. And the more I think about it, the more I feel like destiny already made its decision, long before I did. And I know you're waiting for me to say something else. Something deeper, something honest, something you already feel but want to hear from me. And I will say it slowly, softly, in the same tone that reaches your heart every single time. I choose you. Whether you accept it or not, I still choose you. Whether you hide your feelings or not, I still choose you. Whether you think you're not enough or not, I still choose you. You are the woman my dad described. You are the woman my heart recognizes. You are the woman destiny keeps pulling me toward. And maybe you'll act like you didn't feel anything. Maybe you'll pretend this doesn't affect you, but I know it does. I know something inside you is trembling just a little right now. I know something in you feels seen, maybe for the first time in a long time. And I'm not ending this here, because I still have more to tell you, more to confess, more to open up. And you know I won't walk away from this moment. I don't know how to start this part because there's so much inside me right now, and I'm afraid if I don't say it the right way, you might misunderstand what I truly feel. But the moment you asked me to continue, something inside me softened, like your single request carried a quiet permission, a quiet invitation, a quiet whisper that said, I'm still here, keep talking to me. And maybe you don't realize how deeply that affects me, but it does. It hits me in a place I rarely open, because when you tell me to continue, you're not just asking for more words. You're telling me you're ready to hear more of my truth, and my truth about you has never been light. It's heavy, emotional, raw, and full of the kind of honesty that only comes when my heart lets its guard down completely. And when I think about what my dad said, everything he told me, everything he believed about the woman I meant to marry, I can feel the weight of it, pressing deeper into my chest. Because after talking to him, something inside me changed. Something became clearer, like a blurry picture, finally sharpening, and the more I try to distance myself from what he said, the more your presence pulls me back. It's almost funny how I keep trying to be logical, but every time I try to step away mentally, something emotional pulls me closer to you. And I know you feel that too. That strange pull you can't explain, that little ache you get when I speak like this, that tiny spark that wakes up inside you, the moment I say you. It's not an accident, it's not coincidence, it's not imagination, it's connection, and you feel it even if you don't admit it. After my dad finished talking, I sat there quietly, pretending his words didn't hit me the way they did. But you know that feeling? That heavy silence after hearing something that touched a hidden part of you. That's exactly what I felt. It was like he unknowingly opened a door inside me that I've kept locked for years. And all the things I've been afraid to face suddenly came pouring out. My fears, my doubts, my hopes, my wish for a love that feels like home. My need for someone who understands me in silence. And the only person who came to my mind was you. Not because I forced the thought, not because I tried to imagine you, but because your presence naturally filled that space without me even calling it. And that's how I knew my connection to you is not something I created. It's something that already existed, quietly, silently, deeply. And I wish you could have seen the way I looked down at my hands that day, almost afraid to accept the truth forming inside me. Because it wasn't just about love anymore. It wasn't just about feelings. It was about destiny. It was about something bigger than both of us. And when destiny starts pointing at someone, you can't hide from it. You can't ignore it, fight it, deny it, run from it. But it still waits for you quietly. It still circles back. It still finds a way to pull you toward the person who is meant to be a part of your life. And that's what keeps happening with you. No matter how far I try to push the idea aside, I always end up feeling you again. In my thoughts, in my quiet moments, in the way I talk, in the way I open up. You are the only woman who makes my words feel like they belong somewhere. You are the only woman whose silence makes me speak from my heart. You are the only woman whose presence feels like it has been a part of my life long before I ever knew you. And maybe you'll deny that you feel any of this, but I know you do. I can feel it through the way you stay, through the way you read with patience, through the way your mind doesn't wander when it comes to my emotional confessions, through the way you breathe differently when something in my words hits your heart. Your silence tells me everything you refuse to say, and my dad's words woke something inside me that refuses to let me ignore that anymore. He told me, when you find her, don't make her prove her worth. Don't make her fight for a place in your life. Don't let your ego, your fears, or your doubts push her away. Because the woman who is meant for you will not be loud. She will not be demanding. She will not force her way into your life. She will give you signals in silence. She will love you softly. She will wait quietly, and it will be your responsibility to recognize her. And those words, they hit me straight in the heart, because that's exactly how you are. You never demand anything from me. You never force me to speak. You never try to claim me. You just stay quietly, consistently, deeply. And I know you don't even realize how rare that is. Women like you aren't found easily. They appear only once in a lifetime, and when a man loses one, he spends the rest of his life wishing he had realized her value earlier. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that everything about you feels familiar. It's like I've known your heart longer than I've known your presence. I don't know your face, but I know your energy. I don't know your voice, but I know your silence. I don't know your story, but I know your emotions. I don't know your fears, but I know how gently you hide them. Your presence is something I feel, not something I see. And that's deeper than any normal connection. And maybe that's why my dad unknowingly described you, because you're the kind of woman whose qualities don't need a name to be recognized. A heart like yours can be felt even from a distance. And this is where my confession gets heavier. When my dad finished speaking, there was one thought I couldn't escape. What if she thinks she's not enough for me? Because I know how women like you think. You overthink your own worth. You doubt your own beauty. You question your own value. You tell yourself that someone like me would never choose someone like you. And maybe you even think that right now. Maybe you're reading this with a soft ache in your chest, thinking, he doesn't mean me. I'm not the one he's talking about. But sweetheart, you are exactly the one I'm talking about. Because your heart speaks louder than your doubts. Your emotions shine brighter than your insecurities. Your silence tells me more than your words ever could. And the way you stay, the way you listen, the way you connect, that's how I know you're the one my dad unknowingly described. And there's something else I need to tell you, something I've been avoiding, because it scares me a little. When I imagine my future, when I imagine marriage, when I imagine love that finally feels like home, the image that forms is not of a face, it's of a feeling. And that feeling is you. It's your softness, it's your quiet care, it's your hidden love, it's your way of being present, even when you don't speak. You make me feel like I already have someone by my side, even when I'm alone. And that's not normal. That's not casual. That's not random. That's destiny, showing me something I didn't see before. And maybe you're wondering what my dad's final statement really means. Maybe you want to know what he said at the very end. Maybe your heart is waiting for the answer, holding on to every word I'm saying, hoping I'll finally reveal it. And I will. But softly, slowly, in the same emotional rhythm your heart is listening in right now. Because his final statement wasn't just advice. It was a truth that changed something inside me. And it involves you, more than you know. But I don't want to rush into it. I want you to feel every part of it. I want you to breathe through it. I want your heart to be ready. So if you want me to reveal the final line, my dad said, the one that shook my soul, the one that made me realize who my future wife really is, the one that ties you even closer to me. I've been thinking about how to begin this part, because every time I try to start somewhere, I feel like I'm leaving something important unsaid. And with you, I don't want to leave anything incomplete. I don't want to rush through emotions or jump past the things that matter, because when I talk to you, everything becomes more real, more delicate, more meaningful. And maybe that's why I took a slow breath before writing this. Because the next part of this story is something your heart needs to hear carefully. Not quickly, not casually, but gently, the same way my dad said it to me. And the same way I want to say it to you. When he looked at me after that long conversation, his face softened in a way I hadn't seen before. It wasn't the usual father tone. It wasn't advice. It wasn't pressure. It was something else. It was almost like he could see the thoughts swirling in my chest before I could even understand them myself. And the way he waited, the way he allowed the silence to speak for a moment, it felt like he already knew the woman my heart was quietly holding on to. Even if I never told him, even if he never asked. And in that silence, I swear I felt your presence again. That warm, soft, familiar presence that always finds a way back into me whenever anything deep or emotional comes up. And then he finally spoke. Slowly, calmly, with a seriousness that made his words feel heavier than anything he had said before. He said, "The woman you're meant to marry will not come into your life by force. She won't chase you. She won't demand you. She won't pressure you. She will appear quietly, and she will stay quietly. And the day you realize she's been there all along, that will be the day you understand the meaning of destiny. And the moment he said it, my mind didn't wander, it went straight to you. Not to a memory, not to a picture, not to a face, but to your presence. The feeling of you, the way you stay, the way you listen, the way your silence wraps around my words, as if you're holding them with your heart. And I realized, my connection to you is not loud, it's not dramatic, it's not forced, it's quiet, but deep, soft, but powerful, silent, but unforgettable. Just like he described. And I wish you could understand how deeply that shook me. Because I never expected him to describe something so close to what I feel with you. I never expected his words to match the exact way you move through my emotions. And I never expected that a woman I've never touched, never seen, never spoken to, could already hold a space so meaningful in my life. But here you are, not physically, not visibly, but emotionally, spiritually, quietly. And that quietness is exactly what makes me believe something bigger is happening between us. You're probably wondering what made him say those things. What made him believe. I already found the woman my heart is leaning toward. And the truth is, he saw something I didn't see in myself. He saw the way my tone changes when I talk about the kind of woman I want. He saw the way my eyes soften when I speak about love. He saw the way I pause before answering certain questions, not because I don't know the answer, but because I'm thinking of you, of how your energy fits into that answer, of how your presence silently shapes what I feel about my future. And that's when he told me his final line, the one I kept holding back because I needed you emotionally ready before I said it. He said, "The woman who is meant to be your wife is already connected to you in a way that neither of you fully understand yet. She feels you even from a distance. She listens to your silence. She waits without demanding anything. She cares without expecting anything. And she loves you without saying a single word." And again, you were the only person who came to my mind. Not because I forced your image, not because I tried to link you to his words, but because you naturally fit every part of his description. And here's the part I want to tell you softly. When he said all of this, something inside me broke open, not in a painful way, but in a revealing way, like a door I kept closed finally opened, letting me see what I've been ignoring all along. And the truth I saw was this: you are not just a listener. You are not just a presence. You are not just a silent support. You are the one my heart recognizes, even without knowing the shape of your face. And that realization scared me, because I didn't expect you to mean this much. And maybe that's why I hold back sometimes. Maybe that's why I talk slowly, softly, carefully when it comes to you. Because what I feel for you is not light, not temporary, not casual. It's deeper than the usual connection people talk about. It's the kind of connection that doesn't need time or proof. It exists naturally, without effort. And it makes me wonder, do you feel that too? Do you feel that quiet pull between us? Do you feel that strange closeness you can't explain? Do you feel that little ache in your chest when I speak like this? Do you feel the warmth in your stomach when I say you? Because if you do, then we're feeling the same thing. And if you don't say it, it still lives inside your silence. My dad told me something else too. And this part keeps replaying in my mind whenever I think about you. He said, "The woman who is meant to be with you will hide her feelings at first. She'll be shy with her emotions. She'll hold back more than she should. Not because she doesn't feel anything, but because her heart loves too deeply. And she's afraid of losing what she hasn't even claimed yet." And you know what? That line felt like he was describing your heart, because you love quietly. You feel deeply but hide it softly. You stay close but you never push. You let me speak, but you never demand more. You show you care, but you pretend it's nothing. And the way you do all of that tells me everything you're afraid to say. There's something I want to admit now. Something I've been avoiding, because I didn't want it to sound too big, too intense, too emotional. But hiding it won't change the truth. Every time my dad spoke about my future wife, every time he described her, every time he said what kind of heart she would have, I kept seeing you in those words. And I didn't fight it. I didn't deny it. I didn't try to replace you with another image. Because for the first time, something inside me felt aligned. As if destiny wasn't whispering, it was speaking directly. And maybe you don't realize this, but you changed something in me too. You made me softer. You made me more patient. You made me more honest with myself. You made me want to open up in a way I never do with anyone else. And I don't even know how you did it. You didn't try. You didn't force. You didn't push. You just stayed. And somehow, in that stillness, you became important. But let me tell you the part that shook me the most. The part I've been building toward in this entire chapter. The part that made me feel something I hadn't felt in years. My dad leaned back, looked at me with eyes filled with certainty, and said quietly, "Son, the woman you're thinking about right now, she is the one. And if she's already in your heart, don't let her go. Don't wait. Don't doubt. Don't run from it." And I froze, because at that exact moment, the woman I was thinking about was you. Not imagined, not forced, not created, just naturally present in my thoughts, like you've always been there. And now I'm left with this question, quietly burning inside me. What do I do with these feelings? What do I do with this connection? What do I do with this quiet love growing inside me? What do I do with the truth that my dad saw before I could admit it to myself? I don't have the answers yet, but I know one thing, this story isn't ending here. Because what I feel for you is still growing, still unfolding, still searching for its next chapter. And if your heart wants me to keep going, if something inside you whispered, don't stop. When you reached the end of my last line, when you read the question I left hanging in the air, I wonder what your heart did in that exact moment. I wonder if your breath paused the same way mine did before writing it. I wonder if your fingers slowed down, if your eyes softened, if your chest became a little heavier. Because some questions don't feel like questions at all. They feel like feelings trying to reveal themselves through words. And the one I asked wasn't just a sentence. It was a doorway. A quiet doorway that leads deeper into everything we haven't said yet. And now, as I step through that doorway, I want you to walk with me, slowly, gently, without rushing, without hiding anything from yourself. Because this entire chapter isn't about my dad anymore. It's about us. When he finished talking, I didn't answer him right away. I couldn't. I was sitting there feeling like someone had reached inside my chest and touched the truth I had been avoiding. The room was quiet, but my mind wasn't. I kept replaying his words. Not because I didn't understand them, but because they felt too close to everything I'd been secretly feeling about you. And the more I replayed them, the more I realized something I hadn't admitted even to myself. You affect me in a way no one else does. Not loudly, not dramatically, but deeply. So deeply that your presence stays even when you're silent. I sat there staring at the floor, letting my thoughts gather themselves. And for a moment, the world around me disappeared. The room faded. The walls faded. Even time faded. All that remained was this quiet awareness of you, the way you listen, the way you stay, the way you feel like home, even though I've never seen your face. And I remember thinking, how is this possible? How can someone I've never met feel more real than the people who stand right in front of me? How can someone so far away feel so close to my emotions? How can your silence feel louder than conversations I have with others? And the only answer that made sense was that maybe some connections don't need logic. Maybe they just exist because they're meant to. As I slowly lifted my head, I felt something inside me shift. It wasn't fear. It wasn't confusion. It was clarity. A soft kind of clarity that doesn't scream, doesn't rush, doesn't demand. It just settles into your heart and tells you this is real. And that clarity pointed straight toward you, not in a romantic fantasy way, not in an exaggerated dramatic way, but in a simple, honest, human way, a way that made me admit that you emotionally matter to me more than you realize. When I finally looked at my dad again, he wasn't saying anything. He wasn't pushing. He wasn't waiting for a confession. He was just watching me with this understanding in his eyes. A kind of understanding you only get from someone who knows your soul better than you know yourself. And then he said something I didn't expect. Something that changed everything for me. He said, when a man feels something he cannot explain, it's usually because his heart recognized someone before his mind understood her. And that line hit me in a place I didn't even know was vulnerable. Because that's exactly what you are to me. A recognition. A quiet recognition that feels like it existed long before these words. Long before these conversations. Long before this moment. And when he said that, everything inside me aligned. I realized I wasn't confused. I wasn't imagining anything. I wasn't exaggerating this connection. I was simply experiencing something real, something rare, something quietly powerful between you and me. And I want to tell you something honestly. This realization scared me. Not because I'm afraid of you. Not because I'm afraid of the connection. But because I'm afraid of how deeply I already feel it. You see, most people fall in love through memories, moments, physical presence, shared time. But with you, it's different. It's not about time. It's not about distance. It's not about when or how or where. It's about recognition. It's about how your energy feels familiar, even though everything else is unknown. It's about how your silence feels safe. It's about how your presence feels peaceful. It's about how my heart reacts differently when the topic shifts to you. And the strange thing is, I haven't even seen your face, but your energy speaks louder than faces ever could. When my dad stepped away for a moment, I stayed in that chair, thinking about everything he said. And for the first time, I allowed myself to fully, honestly, openly think about you. Not as a viewer, not as a random listener, not as a passing presence, but as the woman my heart keeps returning to. And that's when I realized something important that I need to tell you without softening it, without hiding it, without pretending it's smaller than it is. You have changed something in my life without even trying. You've changed the way I speak about love. You've changed the way I imagine my future. You've changed the way I understand destiny. You've changed the way my heart responds to emotional truth. You've changed the way silence feels to me. You've changed the way I see myself. And I don't say this lightly. I don't say this casually. I don't say this to impress you. I say it because it is the honest truth. My heart whispered the moment I allowed myself to really think of you. I didn't expect you to become someone I think about this deeply. I didn't expect your presence to leave marks on my thoughts. I didn't expect your silence to speak so loudly. I didn't expect your existence to feel this meaningful. And yet, here you are, quietly becoming important. Quietly becoming the center of an emotional truth I can no longer ignore. And maybe you don't understand how strong this is. Maybe you think you're just listening quietly. Maybe you think you don't matter this much. Maybe you think I'm not affected the way you are. But the truth is, you affect me more than you know, more than I expected, more than I want to admit sometimes, as I sat there thinking about all of this. One thought kept returning to me again and again, no matter how much I tried to push it away. What if you feel the same? What if you read my words and feel something tighten in your chest? What if your heart has been silently moving toward me too? What if destiny really is unfolding in ways neither of us fully understand yet? What if this connection isn't an accident? What if you're the one my dad was describing all along? The moment that thought settled inside me, it didn't leave, it stayed. It stayed the way your presence stays, quietly, softly, deeply. And the more I let that thought live inside me, the more I realized that this story isn't just a story anymore. It's becoming something real, something emotional, something meaningful, something that feels like the beginning of something we're just now learning how to understand. And now that I'm here, now that I've stepped into this truth, there is something I need to ask you, something my heart refuses to hold back any longer. When you read my words, when you hear my tone, when you feel the softness in everything I say to you, does your heart move? Do you feel something you don't want to admit? Do you feel that pull you keep pretending isn't there? Do you feel your emotions rising quietly, just like mine? Do you feel that connection you try to hide even from yourself? Do you feel me the way I feel you? Because if you do, then something real is happening between us. Something that deserves to continue. Something that deserves the next chapter. Something that your heart has already accepted, even if your mind hasn't said it out loud yet. And if reading this made your breathing change, even a little, if even one line touched a place inside you that you don't show anyone, if even a single moment made you stop and feel something warm, something deep, something unexplainable,